This trial is certainly going, so far. Welcome back. Finally, those two are getting loud. While the defense hasn't proven anything definitive, they have made quite a few good points. Why didn't the victim attack Mr. Hart? Why did our witness see dry ice in the vent, despite evidence that the victim moved it? While the prosecution still has strong evidence, I can't deny that these questions bother me immensely. I don't think I can call this an open and shut case any longer. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we did it, Paolo. We're here a little longer, at least. That's all we need. Your Honor, I do have one more witness waiting in the wings. It's not much, but I think you'll find his words reinforce the testimonies we've heard today. You can give me time to prepare him. Very well, then. The testimonies are related. I don't see why we should not hear them today. Let the court hear your witness out after our 10-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Eh? Wow, alright. Court Part 2. Okay, I'm okay. It's okay. Hey, Dean, holding up well? Ah! Holding up? Yeah, of course. No sweat. Not like there's anything to worry over. Not like I'm gonna die. Not like I'm gonna die. Oh God, are you sure I won't die? I think we made him worried. You think? He'll be fine, Mr. Hart. You heard his honor. He said he had his doubts, didn't he? I guess. But he also said that the prosecution still had strong evidence. Well, you may see even scales hanging about a court of law. But the truth is, murder trials are always weighted against the defendant. Trust me, sowing doubt early on is a victory. Okay. Don't worry, Dean. The wild turnabout that'll flip the case on its head will come later. Sorry, Miss Maya, kinda hyped you guys up a lot. I guess I was just expecting progress a little sooner. It's okay. Now I'm deflated. Maybe I should tell him that I felt like I was hitting my head against a wall this whole trial. Me too. Poked a few holes in the prosecution's argument, but they kept getting shut down. As for an argument of our own. Mystic Maya? Oh, Pearly. Hello. Just wanted to check up on you. Oh, you're so sweet. You didn't have to say that. Come on, you know I did. Did you find Gumshoe all right? Of course. Don't worry, Mr. Maya, he'll keep me safe. Hey, come on now, I wasn't worried. If anyone's been worried today, it's this guy over here. Is she talking about me or our client? So you think Mr. Hart is going to be okay? Of course, we can always count on these guys to pull through for us. Hey, I didn't earn my reputation for nothing. Not like I'm worried. There's no need to bluff, Dean. I can always see right through you, you know? Paolo can look helpless sometimes, but he's got this, I promise. Helpless? So chin up now. You're fearless, aren't you? That persona's at least a little part of you. Am I right? Yes, ma'am. Looks like the defense has got ourselves a cheerleader. Oh, and is there something wrong with that, Mr. Dark and Bitter? Of course not. Pearl, you okay? Mystic Maya? Do you not know what you're doing? What? Come on, Pearly. Of course I do. No, Never mind. I should go find Gumshoe again. He'll get lonely. Good luck. Eh? What was she on about? You know her better than we do. Right, let's just focus on the trial for now. Dean's future is the most important, isn't it? Is this? Is this a case of Maya trying to play Mia, but not actually knowing anything about law? That's why she's kind of latched on to us. And don't worry so much about the stakes. Suspense just makes it more fun. Okay. She may not have the legal expertise, but she's got the spirit. I'll give her that. Let's do this. But where is that going with Pearly? One will now reconvene for the trial of Billy Dean Hart. I trust you prepared your witnesses, Mr. DeBest. Your trust is well placed, as always, Your Honor. Witnesses? Oh, why thank you. Will he ever stop falling for easily flattery? Hey, at least we can exploit it too. With your permission, Your Honor? Why yes, go right ahead. Oh, hello, Si. Witness, your name and occupation. Silency Goldstein, cartoonist at Whimsy World. Just who I thought it would be. We're blowing through the witnesses today. Thankfully, it's someone that's a bit more shifty. You say that like we want to pin the blame on people. Don't we? I don't want to think about that bit just yet. While Mr. Goldstein was not as close to the crime as the previous witness, he does cover a blind spot in our timeline. Particularly when Miss Turning and Mr. Hart had left the scene to report the body. Because he too found our victim before the police arrived. Wait, really?
Objection!
People don't often wander without purpose. Are we going to get any reason why you were so close to the crime scene? If I may. I don't have a choice, do I? My apologies, but... won't give me some sentiment, just say it. Very well then. My witness had, something of a meeting with the victim that day. Mr. DeBest, why didn't we hear about this before? I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's likely he was not the only one scheduled to meet with the victim that day. Police are still processing this bit of information, and it's sensitive to many of the parties involved in the case. Oh, surely it's back to blackmail, huh? Maybe intended to have him pay up. A quiet little room whose only staff is meant to enter, tucked in the back of a haunted house. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good place to me. In my defense, his meeting time wasn't set until after the murder. And I did set a foot into the castle before I had to. Still, you should have told the court about this earlier, Mr. DeBest. I asked him not to. This trial's about the murder, not the blackmail. It's Dean that was called out on that recording, not me. We're already gonna have a hell of a time as is. Didn't need to add more fuel to the fire. There's someone's life at stake in this trial. You guys can't just leave that out that you had a meeting with the victim. When the police finish their findings, I'll provide you a copy of everyone the victim intended to meet with that day. Though I should warn you that you might not like the final document we put together. Could this trial have waited until after the police finished processing everything? Ahem. Could we get this over with? My apologies. Go right ahead, Mr. Goldstein. Alright, what do you have to say? Meeting with the victim. I had a meeting scheduled with Quincy at 12 a.m. I arrived at the audio room on time. The door was wide open. Quincy was at his computer, dead, so I decided to leave. Ran into a few other employees on the way out. Turning had sent them. That's it? Problem? I guess not. This is pretty much just Miss Turning's testimony, but with a lot less detail. And that's saying something considering, well, Miss Turning. And I guess it eliminates some time. The crime scene could have been tampered with. All it really does is just support what she said. And we can find something new, at least. Every person's different. Even if it's just a little detail, it might be worth our time. Yeah, just like Sis used to do. Fix it in little details until the case solves itself. Okay, you're definitely trying to play Mia here, Maya. Maybe don't say that so loudly. I mean, His Honor has got us figured out by now, right? You all chatter too much. Sorry? I get that he doesn't exactly want to be here, but geez. He's just surly. And that was, you don't need any details. But, nope. I had to talk to him, that's all. Now, witness, there's no need to be so uncooperative. Ah! Okay, that's cool. Why, that's just rude. Penalty! A penalty for the witness! I don't think that's how it works, Your Honor. What happens if the witness gets a game over? Do they just get... Are they guilty then? Immediately guilty? Trial over? Even if it's just Detective Gumshoe. This is my courtroom, isn't it? Sure? It also brings up the prospect of an Ace Attorney game where you play as the witness and try and bluff your way out of a crime. So Molly indeed had already busted the door down. Could you tell that the door was damaged? Yeah? And how could you tell? It looked damaged. Fair enough. We set ourselves up for that one. Anything in particular? Damaged. Language is the greatest tool of man. So why don't you open that trap of yours? Before the court forces it open for you. Yeah. Huh. Is that little drawing supposed to intimidate me? I don't know. It's pretty accurate. No, it's not. Simon, can I get a copy of that later? 25 balls. Fine. Now why did I invite a schemer into our midst? I like that description of me. Of course you do. Aren't you kind of brushing over a few details? No. I'm pretty sure you are. Hey, my forehead isn't that big. I'll make it smaller if you stop asking questions. That's not how this works. Hey, stop it! You're making my forehead bigger! Must say, I don't like the nerve of you, young man. You'll fix this behavior right away. No thank you. Witness. Uh-oh. Hey, don't sketch anything of me! Insecure. I am not. Fine. What details do you want? Oh, can you tell us more about... Alright, bullet blank computer body. Let's start with the obvious one. Bullet blank. Police happen to find a bullet blank on the crime scene. Does this look familiar to you, Mr. Goldstein? That's one of hearts. Did you happen to see it on the crime scene? Nope. Oh, you didn't? Objection! Before your excitement sends you off on one of your flights of fancy, Mr. Justice, I want to remind you that while the casing is large, it's completely natural that it could be overlooked. It's not like the witness was searching the crime scene. The last thing I wanted to do was get my fingerprints all over the place. Saw what I saw. I left. Trust me, my witness's blindness is not some convenience. I wasn't gonna make it out to be. Sure you weren't. But I wasn't. Alright, we'll go back to that, then. Do you know why they were heading back to the crime scene? Molly said the police told her to make sure it was preserved. Of course, she didn't want to do it herself. These other employees, were they also some of Quincy's victims? Probably. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Having the blackmail victims watch the crime scene? You say that like there was an employee that you wouldn't try to blackmail. I guess that's true. You don't exactly have much to work with. You've been keeping so tight-lipped because he has something to hide. Or he just really doesn't want to be here. By the way, I think what you should be doing is pretty obvious, kid. Like a Godot can't function without coffee, and an attorney can't function without information. Just pester him until he wants to personally walk over to the bench and strangle you. You don't have to phrase it like that, you know. Oh, poor little Paolo. You'll go behind the back of a renowned attorney. Aren't you afraid to make some angsty art student annoyed at you? Do you only grow a spine when it inconveniences me, kid? I promise you, it's not intentional. Alright, it was this one we wanted, right? Got the computer. Did you notice anything of interest on his computer? He had something open. And can you remind us what that was? Some audio file, I guess. Had these super tall waveforms. Probably wasn't blackmail material. That checks out what everyone else has said so far. Did you get a glimpse of the file name? Or any details about it that stood out? Anything that could be important? Yes. But really? Yes. I decided to listen to it, with a dead guy right in front of me. Yeah. Made sure to give it a real good look. File was called gullible.mp3. You know you can just say no, right? Oh, I'm sure he does. Nice. Let's go through the stairs again. Bigger forehead. The bot. According to Miss Turing's testimony, the victim had collapsed on the keyboard in front of him. Can you confirm this? Here. Oh, is that what you saw? Yes. That's all I remember, so stop asking for details. I mean, if it's going to be your testimony, the drawing looks a little rushed. A little? Hey. Oh, what? Do you want me to spend an hour making a perfect recreation? You seem perfectly capable of drawing us quickly if you had to. That's just caricatures, Paolo, not the whole background and stuff. I think Mr. Goldstein has made it more than clear to the court. He doesn't have any more information to give. If you have any objections, raise them now, kid. Now? It's pretty clear this one's gonna do everything he can to keep his trap shut. I need to strike the iron while it's hot to get him talking. Huh? Okay, let's throw him off his game then. Got all the details I'm gonna get. I'm counting on me to find something. Mr. Goldstein. I don't think we're going to get much out of him, Mr. Justice. That's fine by me. I didn't expect any more words. I think there was something in that testimony I want to draw the court's attention to. Or at least, I hope I'm on the right track here. Minor as it may be, Mr. Goldstein, your recollection of the crime scene seems to be lacking. The crime seems to be lacking. Excuse me? Yeah, let me show you just what's off. So we're really gonna poke at the headphones? We are gonna poke at the headphones. About that sketchpad of yours. Should maybe turn it a few pages back? Why should I do that? You're stalling. I'm not, Mr. Goldstein. I just want to see that sketch of the body again. You'll cooperate with this court, young man? Fine then. Happy? Very. Mr. Goldstein, you said the victim still had an audio file on his computer when he died. If he was still working. Huh, so the cartoonist is more animated than he lets on. You've already realized, haven't you? I haven't realized anything. I'm pretty sure you have. Any coworker of the victim's would. In fact, don't take it from me. Miss Turning, are you still here? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Headphones, right? I see them. Let me guess, you want me to tell the court about Quincy's relationship with them? Relationship? He loved the fancy things. He would always be wearing them whenever he worked. Sometimes he'd forget to take them off when talking to us. Is that true, witness? Okay, can I count? I say yes? Between Miss Turning and our current witness's reaction, I think the answer is obvious enough, Your Honor. Objection! I can't believe you're so absurd, Mr. Justice. But because he usually wore his headphones doesn't mean he was wearing them when he died. I'm not sure about your priorities, Mr. Justice. But I think breathing is a little more important than some fancy headwear. Does our victim really look like someone who would want to die in style? I don't think headphones are stylish, more so practical? I don't think he wanted to die practically either. Would you really worry about putting on your tie when you were dying, Mr. Justice? Your tie, of all things. You're the one with a fancy cravat. Don't badmouth cravats. The point is, with the stress he was under, I think it's completely reasonable for him to forget his headphones. Oh, there he is. Oh, wow. It's for actually having a head on your shoulders. I'd never gotten fan art before. You want it? Yeah, Mouse, come on. There we go. Ahem. We'll talk about this later, witness. Right now, my only priority is justice. Very professional pun. Very professional to mock your opponent about being professional.
Objection!
Oh, if you were given a chance to outline your final words, would you really be so careless with them? Even the most down on his luck man would want to leave. Would want to at least put his life into perspective, don't you think? Especially if those words double as a cry for help, which they often do. Why wouldn't the victim listen to his own recordings before he sent them out? As far as he knew, they were his final words.
Objection!
He said a Russian. What's more, he was an audio editor. You know how audio files work. You could probably see that his voice had been recorded just fine. You just need to get word out fast.
Objection!
So he didn't listen to the recordings then, is that what you're saying? Let's review a few things, why don't we? This is what the crime scene looked like. Look at the desk. Everything is still arranged neatly despite his panic. This is the sketch Mr. Goldstein just gave us. Man's headphones are on the ground. He didn't knock anything else to the ground. How would they be there if he didn't use them? This sketch is really the truth. He used those headphones when he was creating his call for help. He had to. And if he was still working on those audio files until his death, he'd have no reason to take them off. Well, they just fell off when he died. No, those headphones were custom made to fit him. You have to whack his head real hard for them to just fall off a little. They wouldn't fall all the way to the floor. This whole argument is asinine. Even if he had his headphones on, what does it matter? It means you gave us false details about the state of the crime scene. So what? Wow, we are really reaching. My memory is supposed to be perfect now? Why doesn't the defense stop blabbering? Listen to what reasonable people have to say for once. Oh boy. Don't need a knife for detail. Headphones don't matter. Fixation is stupid. I'm allowed to make mistakes. I know that there was a dead guy. Door was wide open. The vent was busted. I got the broad strokes. Whoa, hello. I'm gonna be done here. Oh, this is new. Kid? What's bothering him? I can't say for sure what it is. His body language is getting to me. Think there's another tell he's hiding? Do tell so my bracelet is anything to go by. Oh, looking back on it. Bracelet triggered multiple times for the same tell when we were talking to Mr. Hart. He's keeping the same pose. But I doubt he had multiple nervous tics. By the way, I've got to find out exactly what's making Mr. Goldstein nervous. Now I can see the gears turning. It's like you already know what to do. Just leave it to me. Huh, you almost got me excited. Have at him, kid. Alright, I guess we're getting right to it then. What do they do? They don't. But, nope. I'm just gonna assume it's not worth fighting you over this. It's not stupid. When this is an artist, you should know. There are no stupid ideas, only stupid answers. Isn't there no stupid answers, only stupid questions? No, I'm pretty sure it's there are no stupid questions. Doesn't matter, they're all false. This Gordon was a testament to that. Hey! you insulting me too now, Mr. Goldstein? Mr. Goldstein? Not yet. There's one more thing I'd like to ask you before you're done here. Then hurry up and ask it. Can you, repeat your testimony one more time first? Okay, I deserve that one. Everything okay, Paolo? Yeah, I think I finally got a good idea of what to look out for. Where it'll lead us, I have no idea. The world leans towards the unpredictable. You've done a decent job living into it so far, so I think you'll be fine. I haven't exactly had a plan for any of my previous trials either. Let's take a case that isn't, you know, so clearly stacked against the fence. So we can make an actual plan, just once. No, that's boring. We need to take the crazy ones. But why exactly? Alright. Broad strokes aren't what we need here, Mr. Goldstein. I have a feeling I could glitch things out by hitting the bracelet in the middle of pressing him. Even the smallest details are important. If you can think of anything, you better mention it. Well, too bad, I can't. You know, considering the drawings he has shown us, I wonder what the ones he doesn't show are. I'm sure if we weren't in a court of law, they'd both be a lot more offensive. I just basically want to see them more, to be honest. Seconded. But thirded. What's wrong with you two? Alright, let's do this. All I know is there was a dead guy. The door was wide open. A vent. Busted. Got the broad strokes. What are you looking at? You're nervous, Mr. Goldstein? Very. You're obnoxious, Mr. Justice? Very. Not finding anything. Should give this another go? Yes, okay, we can just jump right back in. Oh, his thumb twitched there a second. All I know. See if his thumb twitches again. Doesn't go off for anything else. I swear his thumb twitched when he said all I know. Alright. That's it. That's his nervous habit. I'm good at this. Wait, bracelet went off 2 times, didn't it? He knows more than he's letting on, if his tick is any indication. What else is he hiding? Wait, that just... this thumb just... Oh shit, the door was wide open. It did just go up there. Why didn't we see it before? I swear it didn't go off before when he said the door was wide open. When I went back on it, or no, maybe it got triggered by pointing out the first tick. Yeah.
Gotcha!
Mr. Goldstein, the door was wide open, and that's all you know about it? What? I may not be an artist like you, but I can still see small details when I'm studying a subject. I know that when you mentioned these things, you tucked your thumb under your left hand. Interesting, isn't it? But the door specifically made you seize up. Godot, get out of my... Get out of my gimmick. That seems like a weird detail to be uncomfortable with mentioning. Unless there's something about the door you're not telling the court. Uh-oh. Door. Ridiculous. What would I know anything about the door, of all things? Huh. Someone's talkative suddenly. You can lie all you want, but your habits have betrayed you. What? You think you're a lie detector now? Because you think you saw me move my fingers slightly differently doesn't mean anything. Why should the court trust you to make claims like this? You're right, Mr. Goldstein. I'm not a lie detector. If you're so confident we can try getting one for you. Door looked weird, so I looked at it a little. That's all. I wanted this done quickly, so I didn't include the detail. I'm sorry, but I'm not falling for that. You know something the court doesn't, I'm sure of it. What could I possibly know? There's really only one thing about the door we don't know, isn't there? Under the money, Maya, the door holds one mystery. The sealant. But how would he figure that out? Forensics isn't even done with the test yet. He'd have to have something to do with this, right? Mr. Goldstein. You know what was used to seal the door, don't you? No, of course not. It's not even possible for you to figure something like that out. It's gotta be something that tipped him off. Think, how would he know something before forensics does? We still have this... I think I know, and that's because of this. It's the resin charm, isn't it?
Take that!
It's resin, isn't it? No. You have experience with the substance. You yourself told us you made this charm for your brother. We know what it's made out of. Resin? So you already knew, didn't you? If you're not willing to admit it, we could always wait for the test results to come in. If it's not resin, then maybe I'm making this whole thing up. No, you can't. Don't do those tests. Why can't we? Why is that? It wouldn't happen to be because we're right, would it? Apollo, his reaction. He knows. He knows. He knew it was used in the murder. Before we did. Before forensics even did. He's gotta have done it. He's done something. Something, yes. It? No. Not buying it. He's the murderer, or the accomplice, or... Come on, I've been waiting for this. Maya, chill. Let's do it. Let's pursue a criminal together. Whoa, hold on. Don't get so excited. He's worked with resin before. He's got to know a lot about it. Maybe he could recognize it. I can't say just yet if this means he's for sure involved. When has for sure ever mattered? Just bluff it like you always do. Maya, hold on a second. What kind of accusation is this serious? Mr. Goldstein, how is that not suspicious? You've been hiding facts about the murder from everyone. Maya, people don't just happen to know more than the police do. I know that. I've used the material before. I know what it looks like. When it's not cast properly, it'll... Yeah, right, Maya. Just making excuses, aren't you? Maya! Hold on, Miss Faye. At the very least, let the witness finish. I don't even know how he identified the resin.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Prodigy Boy. Even if what Golden Boy here says is true, he's not free from the bitter aftertaste. Tell me, Goldstein, if you're so innocent, why did you stop and investigate the door? Even if you knew the material, I don't think a single glance could have seen through to its true nature. You would think he was about to explain before Maya got all up in his grill. Why, that's very true. You have to at least stop to observe for a good few moments. Doesn't sound like something a bystander would do. Well, do you have an explanation for yourself? I didn't do anything. You're going to have to do better than that, Mr. Goldstein. But... Maya? No, you can't. Don't suspect him. Gil? I would never kill anybody. Gil, stay out of this. No, you're being stupid, Sai. It's not even possible for the door to have been sealed with resin. You guys don't know the first thing about it. Your Honor, please, let me testify. I know something the court needs to hear. And who are you? I'm Silent's brother, Gilmer. Name and occupation. I do face paint for people at Whimsy World. Please, just let me say something. Of course, young man. Don't worry. I think this will change the case, right? Yeah, it's important. Then go right ahead. Thank you so much, Your Honor. How resin works, okay. It's not possible for that door to have been sealed with resin, so leave Sai alone. Resin comes in 2 parts. You need both solutions to be mixed together equally for a good cast. No way someone would be able to mix it perfectly in a hurry. Even more damning, resin can take hours to fully cure. It'd still be a goopy mess. The door wouldn't have been stuck in time. Resin could only be used if the crime was set up ahead of time, and it wasn't. See? See? I had a good reason to interject. It'll be okay, Sai. Sai? Don't worry now, Mr. Gilmer. Your testimony was very enlightening. You seem to know what you're talking about. Used a lot of art words I don't know. Thanks, Your Honor? Your Honor, we both remember that doesn't count for much, right? And thank you, witness, for making this fact clear to us. I won't let doubt fall on your brother unjustly. There's no way someone could have set up this crime in advance, Mr. Justice. As long as the murder weapon was dry ice. Face it, the reason you've hit so many dead ends is because there's no way out to begin with. So stop struggling. Just let Whimsy World go back to being the happy place it's meant to be. He called out Silent. He seemed so sure the test would come back in our favor. What's going on here? This is getting really weird. Trapped in a maze of solely dead ends. Is that where you think we are, Prodigy Boy? You really expect our maze-bound metaphoric man to just lay down and give up? Just bust down a wall and make our own way out. We're close, right? We can't give up here. Of course. This isn't enough for me to give up just yet. Maya, we need to have a talk after this. Well, you guys are looking at me like that anyway. So, let's do it. Alright, let's figure this shit out. I understand you want to protect your brother, Gil. We have to protect Mr. Hart, too. If you believe in his innocence, then please, just let this trial run its course. He's right, Gil. Stop getting involved. No, I'm not going to sit back and do nothing for you. Well, I can still counter what the defense is saying. Chris specifically called out your client. How is that not enough for you, Mr. Justice? It's just my job, Gil. Dean deserves a fair trial. If you're defending Dean, then why can't I defend my own brother, huh? You want this trial to be so fair that accept my argument. Actually counter me. The gold boy has a point, inconvenient as it is. Alright then, Gil. Looks like I have to do this. Hold it! 2 parts. Usually comes in an A and a B part when me and Sai buy it. 1 part's the main resin part, and the other one's the hardener. If you don't mix them right, it has a really hard time curing. Curing? I haven't heard of healing glue before. Judge, please. Not what they use to seal wounds in hospitals. You're somehow backed into a point. No, Your Honor. Curing is just when resin is drying up and becoming solid. What happens if it doesn't cure like it should? Usually it just stays super sticky and doesn't solidify. I doubt the police would be able to take a clean sample for testing if it wasn't done right. Or at least it would have stuck all over their hands. Is it possible the culprit could have pre-planned the proportions? Or even pre-mixed it? If you pre-mixed it, it'd start curing before it was applied. That can cause a whole host of problems. Though I guess looking pretty wouldn't exactly be important. Even if the killer worked something out, there's still one big problem. Hold it! Are you sure there isn't some type of resin that cures faster than others? I mean, you can buy fast-curing resins, but they still take a few hours to work. They're not the strongest, to be honest. What if the resin was combined with something? Like a superglue of some sort? At that point, why not just use superglue? I know you're desperately trying to paste your theory together. At least use something that makes sense. Why would a criminal even use that kind of chemical combination? I think everyone in this court knows that chemistry isn't something to be played with. Are you trying to say our killer is a chemist? Because I don't see one here. Where'd you get that from? Just some gluey stuff. Gluey stuff is... Gluey stuff? Is that what you're going with this, Mr. Justice? No! The killer just wanted to throw off forensics. And use a sealant that could potentially ruin their whole plan. Yeah, I guess you have a point. Thank you, but I don't need your reassurance. Just take the victory, will you? Do you know exactly how long it would take for the door to be stuck? I mean, it all depends on the type and brand of resin. Even then it can vary. It's not like I'd know what exactly the murderer used that day. What kind of resin does your brother usually use? What? I'm telling you, he didn't do it. Can't you leave him alone? It was just a question. Well, I'm not answering it. I know they say inquiring minds want to know, but you really need to think about the implications of your questions, kid. Hey, it's a valid question. Yeah. Yeah, if anything, it's super shitty that he didn't answer it. Let's accuse him of murder, Maya. I'm just saying, it's reasonable not to want to throw family under the bus. Jeez. Why do you guys have me playing devil's advocate for the golden boy now? Sorry? What if I have evidence it was? Then everything you and the prosecutor have said at this trial is meaningless. We'd have to start over. Reconstruct the whole crime. Except for the fact that your brother... Shut up! Evidence doesn't exist anyways. Leave us alone. Come on. We almost had something. The elder brother has to be tensing up for a reason. Most people don't display nervous tics at random. You'll seem to know what he's talking about, though. I think I know where that leads. I'll throw the case into chaos, but it's Mr. Hart's only chance right now. It's my responsibility to take that chance for him. So... Shoutouts if you figured this out before I did. See, I'm in the weird place where, I kind of, like, stopped on what was eventually the right answer, but didn't try it yet. And then stepped away for a little bit. Then came back to it, and looked up the answer, and it turned out to be the answer that I was this close to actually presenting. And that answer is... a cardboard box.
Objection!
I guess the proof is in... I guess the line of reasoning that I was thinking of, which was why I nearly got here on my own, is the fact that, the cardboard box was moved neatly and put back neatly. And why were there boxes there to begin with? Unless someone was planning to get into the vent, I guess. Mr. DeBest, you've realized it too, haven't you? After all, you gave us a perfect explanation as to why when we were investigating earlier. Yes, I did. This box, right? You see the vent up there? The ceiling may be lower than normal, but even then it's kind of a pain to reach, right? And we checked the desks. They wouldn't be able to support someone's full weight. It's pretty safe to say nobody stood on them. So you'd have to use a box. Yeah, but here's the thing. People who discovered the crime scene didn't find a box in the middle of the room. Which means our killer put it back. What are you guys on about? Gil, about the crime scene not being set up in advance. Might be evidence to the contrary. If resin really was used to seal the door, then it explains the placement of this box. They would have set up a trap for the victim far in advance. They'd have every reason to put the box back in place. We didn't have an explanation. Until now.
Objection!
But dry ice was used in the murder. If the crime was set up in advance, well, I doubt the victim could go for long without noticing it. Not to mention the fact that it melts. I'm afraid that's not what matters. Thanks to what the court now knows about resin, forensics confirms it was used to seal that door. It completely reframes how the crime had to be committed. Dry ice or not, there's no way the crime could have occurred the way the prosecution suggested. Die! Smack. You yourself said you think Dean threatened the victim at gunpoint. You won't be able to go inside if resin needs that much time to work. And what do you know? We just happen to have a suspect who knew exactly what material was used in the crime. You think he really knew? Do you see how he reacted? The artist up to something. Well, he's super rude. So if it is resin... No! You can't suspect Sai, please! Just because he knows about resin? I know about resin too. Maybe I'm the one. Maybe I sealed the door. I could be the murderer. Gil. What if I confessed right now? I could have done it. I could have just as easily killed Quincy. You don't need to be strong or brave to use dry ice like that. We've had enough chaos in this courtroom already. I won't allow any nonsense claims to be made here today. The court has no evidence against you. But what if I said? Please, Mr. Justice, don't you have anything on me? Gilmer. Mr. DeBest? I'm sorry. All we can do is wait on forensics. If the material used to seal the door really was resin, then the defense is right. The crime was set up far in advance. And my theory doesn't accommodate that right now. Item 1132. Which means have been like over an hour in advance. While the recordings still indicate the defendant, I refuse to turn my face from the truth. This warrants looking into, at least. I'm afraid I agree, Mr. Justice. Yes, Paula, we did it. Finally, some sort of breakthrough. I was getting nervous for a second there. I knew it'd be okay. So sorry, Sai. Those tests come through. Just shut up and stay out of this. Seems like all we can do now is wait for forensics to finish their examination. If we receive the results we are anticipating, that changes quite a lot about our crime. I think we should give both the defense and prosecution time to take this into account. And to be frank, I'd also like the police to further progress their investigation before we push this trial any further. That's a perfectly reasonable request, Your Honor. No complaints here. The crime really was set up hours in advance. We're definitely going to need more info to figure out how. Very well then, it's decided. Court is adjourned. That was a weird trial. Miss Faye, Mr. Justice, Mr. Godot. Hey, you guys. I'm gonna live, aren't I? Oh, please, we told you that already. Now, of course, I knew that. You can never fully trust anyone, though, that's all. Sure, if you say so, edgelord. Are you guys really sure that resin stuff was used to seal the door? Judging by the Goldsteins' reactions, I think it's a pretty safe bet. Oh, so what happens when we get the test results back? That means there's no way you'd have threatened Mr. Quincy at gunpoint, that's for sure. I think it'll set us up with a nice second suspect for when we reconvene. Sigh. Yeah. You think they'll arrest him, too? Can't deny that his reaction to everything in court today has been pretty damning. Would the police really go that far? The way they treat suspects here, they might. If Sai really did something, though, it's gonna tear those two apart. Not that it matters to me. But it matters to me. That's sweet of you. Yeah, things could get ugly if we're right. But you don't deserve to go to prison for something someone else did. I wonder what reason they had for killing Mr. Quincy. Your life isn't worth that, Dean. Lives aren't things you can just trade. That's what really happened. That Gil's just gonna have to come to terms with the fact that his brother did something unforgivable. They're still family, though. That's not something that's easy to just accept. We don't know the truth yet. Don't let something get to your heads, for it's real. You can hang your head and pity the Golden Boys if that's the truth we find when it's all over. For now, all we can do is keep pressing forward. Or if the truth is our client has to be innocent, why would a bullet blank be there if the door was sealed hours in advance? It won't be a setup. I know it. She's right. Whoever caused this mess, it probably wasn't Dean. Can't say that. I can say that with confidence now. I need to make sure he's declared not guilty. I can worry about the rest later. Come on now, let's find Pearl and head back to the office. All we can do now is wait for the police to finish their report. Right. Well, let's not worry my little Pearlie any longer then. Later, Dean. Later. That was certainly a trial. That was a whole mixture of plot developments. The actual trial gameplay portion was a bit questionable. Or maybe I'm just dumb. Feel free to just, maybe I'm just dumb. Is the trial logic questionable, or am I just dumb? Comment now below. Sorry, just blanking out for a moment. As I tend to do. Yeah, it's a weird mix of plot developments have been really interesting. It's in the Maya's. Just that one bit with Maya and Sai. Feels like really building up to something there. Which is just Maya pushing the whole law off its head. Despite her actually fitting a role on this team really well as the sort of the team heart and motivator and the one who connects with the clients the most. We have Godot, the philosophical one, and the one who's willing to ask the questions that others find uncomfortable. And we have Apollo, the guy who bangs his head against the wall for 20 minutes and puts the pieces together. And does the legwork, so to speak. As a dynamic, it works really well, but you can tell that they're pushing Maya towards something. Towards a breaking point with Pearl and the Fae Law Office. With her relationship with Godot and the Law Office, and Mia probably coming back into focus. That's been really interesting. The end point of the trial that we got to is also really interesting. It's just how we got there, which kind of perplexed me a little bit, but we got there. And I can live with that. I like everything else going on around that. Just something, maybe it's just been a while since I've been in fan case areas, but I don't know. Do not hold back if I'm dumb and you figured this out already. Until next time, until then, thanks for watching.